All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Hi guys, Gillian Leivers here, just checking in with you. You all know me, the man fighting the grave miscarriage of justice.
Don't flinch. We're pulling the curtain back on the injustice on the Greenfeeds case, where verdicts were handed down, but justice was not served. So buckle up. This isn't just a broadcast, it's a reckoning. This is a case of a grievous injustice, and we want to understand how things went so wrong. Listen in every Saturday between 12 and 2 p.m. and hear how the story unfolds. You'll be blown away by its content. Only on Dreamcatcher Radio.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
Okay, we are back for episode number 39 of the Greenfeeds Injustice case. Boy, what a journey that we're on. We're joined today by Ian Leivers, and his wife, Gillian Leivers, is obviously in jail. And as I've always said, Gillian Leivers should not be in jail. And Phil Bentley, I call him the fake cop because that's what people who are anti I don't even know how you describe them, to be honest. The weirdos, that basically choose not to listen to the series and the paperwork and evidence before them, but call him, I think, a plastic cop, fat cop, ugly cop, or whatever it may be. Actually, I think one of them called you a probation officer. So good afternoon, Ian and Phil. How are you?
Good afternoon. Yeah, I'm fine, thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm not too bad, thank you.
I've got questions, and we've got a couple of things you briefly mentioned just beforehand, Ian, which we're going to talk about. Do you understand this, right? The weather, right? The other day here in London, there was thundering and heavy rain. Yeah, then it stopped for maybe 15 minutes, then started again, then stopped again and started. What's your view on that sort of thing?
Yeah, I'm not sure I've got a view, but it's exactly the same here today, Brad. I've been up to Hull for a meeting, and you can have absolutely blazing sunshine. Then again, like you say, you've got heavy rain, torrential heavy rain, clears over, and yeah, it's weird. I've never known nothing like it. You'd think it was April.
I blame the weather.
You blame the weather. Do you what do you call those? What do they say with that airplane? Chemtrails. Do you think it's anything to do with that?
No, that's crazy.
Yeah.
How much it would take to affect the weather? Yes, planes flying over you every 2 minutes, wouldn't you?
But it was most bizarre. It happened pretty much throughout the day. Probably not like every 15 minutes, but it wasn't far off. But I was on the M25 the other day, and the same thing. There's rain, like heavy rain, and it was stop, and then you're carrying on. It was just start again.
It was forecast, wasn't it? I remember seeing the forecast and saying.
Yeah, but how is it not across like the entire of London, or is it just certain segments of London?
It's UK wide, wasn't it? It was UK wide, and the temperature dropped as well because the week before it was glorious, and then so we're all walking around in shirt sleeves and flip flops, and next minute we're all freezing to bloody death. So,
but the point I'm making is it's a bit like a comedy sketch where it's just raining on your head, but this is like stop and start.
Just raining on your head.
It fascinates me. Okay, what else did I want to mention? Oh, you were talking about that case, Ian.
The White House case, Jeremy Bamber, Channel 5 on Monday. There was the Mark Thomas was on there. Brad, I spoke to Mark a few years back, and I know you've been communicating with him recently. Yeah. And there was the expert lawyer on there, Mark Newby, who handles grave miscarriage of justice. But for me, what baffles me is this young man, I think he was about 24 at the time, young farmer, you know, he's out there working on the land, and all of a sudden he's going to go crazy, shoot his mother and father and his sister and those two young children. No person, no young farmer would do this unless he was mentally disturbed. But what we've now established, or should I say, which is coming out, is his sister had very serious mental health problems, issues. She was on medication. And what is crazy here, guys, is that she was writing these bizarre letters. And I think even talking of almost ending her lives and talking about being with God and claiming that Joan of Arc was speaking to all these weird things in these letters. But the police withheld it in Jeremy's original trial. And it's also been disclosed that the medication she was prescribed, she wasn't taking at the time. They had an expert psychiatrist on the documentary the other night, and yeah, you'd think if anyone was going to carry out this heinous act of, it's shocking, it would have been his sister. What breaks your heart is, and well, the two young boys, both shot in the head, and there was an author on there the other night. She said one of them was still sucking his thumb, and it makes you weep. However, you'd think that he didn't suffer, being still in that position when he was discovered. But yeah, for me, it's shocking, isn't it? That, like Mr. Mark Newby said, how can you have a level playing field if the police hold back those letters that she was writing? It's like in our case, as you two guys know, those texts between the Maruniac family. Could you imagine if those were disclosed and used in court? But again, coming back to that, disclosed, the defence, our lawyers had those texts, but chose not to use them. And it makes you wonder, did the defence also have those letters? I don't know, in Jeremy's case, and chose not to, because, it's evident, it's coming out, as you two can see now, that we were framed by our own defence. Did this happen in Jeremy's case?
Yeah,
it does make me wonder about the state of the police today.
Oh no, it's disgraceful, Bill.
I'm
no doubt in my mind now, based on everything I know, not only the Leivers case, but other cases. I no doubt in my mind that the police service is in utter chaos.
Yeah, I think it's from the numbers that they're allowed to recruit, the quality of the people that they recruit, the quality of the probationer that they kick out at the back end. But then, of course, they've got to deal with society where they've got to be very careful about the words that they use in case they upset somebody, or they have to wear body cam. And then, as we're about to find out in this next session, how nothing's believable, everything's fake. AI is fake. Things they try to convince the things that you've seen with your eyes is fake. America's great at that, aren't they? You see some woman get shot through the head in a car, and you're convinced, that she did something to provoke that.
That's grotesque.
And this is the way it's going. What chance have they got, basically?
I've just been on the phone call, right, and with quite a famous rapper who's in prison at the moment, yeah, and he did a song about Tommy Robinson, offering him out for a fight, and he did, how do I describe it in audio terms? At the end of the video, he said black, black, black. All right.
Oh, right, yeah.
And he's in prison because of that.
Oh yeah, well, he made it sound like a gun, didn't he? I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Did he have a license for that gun? He didn't have.
he was using his fingers.
Yeah.
And he's in prison. But what do you think about that? Actually, just have interest. That sort of scenario.
I think that's daft.
Is that incitement? Or
It could be incitement, I suppose. At the end of the day, I mean,
but he's giving him
the low life of society would understand that more than most. Most people would go, "What's he talking about? What's that brap thing?" You know, but low life of society would know what that meant and would probably be incited by it.
Yeah. Okay. Here's another way to look at it, right? That you look at, he's actually inviting to a fight, yeah, right, and then does that, yeah. Look at Pinky Blinders, and where they're doing street, literally on the TV program. Is it because the fact that it has a TV label, it's okay?
Yeah, we could say that about anything, couldn't you? Really, we push the boundaries for everything, don't we?
But
Everything.
he's in prison because of a music video.
Yeah, I don't believe in inciting. I believe in free speech, but I don't believe in inciting violence. I think that's wrong. And everything has consequences. That's the way I look at it.
The other thing I think about as well, and it's something I've never discussed before on the radio station, is that where black people talk to black people, and they call each other racial terms, the M word, for example. Yeah.
Yeah.
If we said it, it's different.
Yeah, it's not all right for us to say, is it? Yeah.
Because we don't have the authority to say that.
Yeah.
We'd be considered racist if we said it.
Yes, it is strange. It's strange how everybody took the knee, didn't they, for that George Floyd? He was basically not a nice bloke to start off with.
Yeah, exactly. I don't get it.
That's not an excuse. That's not an excuse to go, well, he's not a nice bloke to start off with. Let's stamp on his head. It isn't at all. But this guy that's been stabbed. Nobody's taken the knee for him.
Did you hear David Lammy's response?
No.
He said, "No, I don't think it's appropriate to take a knee." But yet you've got when you talk about George Floyd and that sort of stuff, he was a proper criminal. I mean, obviously, what happened that day with that police officer, a very, very strong police officer, strangled him with his arm around the neck, didn't help. But
no.
The guy was a prolific criminal and also on heavy drugs as well.
Yeah. And he
And
refused the instructions, didn't he, and stuff like that. So what do you do? That was my biggest nightmare as a police officer, was you issue somebody with an instruction and then basically go, no. Do this, no. If you don't do this, I'm going to do that.
Did you get the opportunity to get your notebook out and say, right, I just said no to that then, so what do we do next? Okay, you said no to that. Okay, can you please turn around? No. Okay, what do we do next? You see what I mean? When you
usually say if you don't respond, you're going to be under arrest. And if they still come out with verbiage, you quite often see in American clips, where they'll go to drag somebody out of a car, or they throw them on the floor and stick a knee in the middle of their back and stuff to get the cuffs on them and stuff like that. It escalates fairly quickly if they keep saying no, because they become more suspicious. Obviously, it's very, very difficult though when you're out at the what I call a coal face. It's very, very difficult to gauge it. Really. It really is.
American police officers are scary. I've been pulled over before. And
what I was going to say to you, Brad, was you posted something on TikTok which I started to watch, and then I noticed the post after it was about Jamie Bulger,
right?
And I watched that clip afterwards, and it just brought it all flooding back to me. The horror, the absolute horror of that kiddie being led away by a 10-year-old. Led away, he's holding a kid's hand, led out of the shopping centre by a 10-year-old. And the police had to prove that they knew the difference between right and wrong. They knew what they were doing. They'd planned it, basically. The kid had horrific injuries, absolutely horrific injuries, before they left him on a railway track to have a train run over him. It was absolutely horrendous.
Well, Phil, do you mind me saying, can we not talk about that, please? It's too upsetting for me. I think about he's 9, and yeah, I don't want to think about that.
No, I don't blame you.
I've got a question. Similar to that, I was speaking to one of the presenters. She's actually based in Australia, and we were talking about domestic violence, for example, yeah, and she come up with the words that that when you're born free and innocent, yeah, and you're not born to be someone that that becomes someone aggressive, abusive, and all that sort of thing. And her proposition was it's your surroundings and that sort of thing. But I think there's many different aspects to how you become that person that can be so vile to do that sort of stuff. And in the court system, and I watch a lot of true crime stuff, and read a lot of family law documents. Is that often is argued that I was abused and therefore I become the abuser. That's my defense, right?
Yeah.
But I think back to my, sorry.
It is your upbringing.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Ian.
Well, Thompson and Venables both went to prison, obviously.
Yes.
Thompson served his time, came out, was given a new name, a new identity, never heard from him ever again.
Yeah.
Venables, completely different.
Yeah. In
and out of prison like a rat up a drain pipe. He could not leave it alone. Computer with kiddie images on it and all that sort of stuff, So it was just strange, really, how they weren't condoning Thompson at all, because he played it by the book, he's more or less, he's got his life to lead now. But, the people in and around Jamie Bulger were all destroyed, absolutely destroyed. Even the lead detective had to leave the job.
Yeah, you could. Oh God, got to have affected him massively.
Destroyed him.
Her position was that through her domestic violence, it made her the person that she is today. And for me, that's a justification, right? So, but in terms of, because she's amazing. But I was brought up with a belt, right? Proper beatings and that sort of stuff, and lots of like angry people. Yeah. But how am I not angry myself? Where I'm all about empathy and supporting other human beings and that sort of thing. You can't, how does that work?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was clattered when I was a kid. He didn't take his belt off to me. He didn't. He once chased me up the street and he ran out of his slippers and had to stop while he put them on.
Yeah, hang on, Phil. At school, when we were younger, I think
you used to have the cane, didn't they?
Ruler, cane, slipper, belt. We had it all.
A strap. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a physics teacher who he gave us an exam. We'd only been in that school, I don't know, a few weeks. He gave us all the elements, chemical elements to learn, and none of us bloody learnt them. So he stood the whole class in a circle. We all held hands, and he electrocuted a lot of us with a 12-volt battery.
Well, you could do all at once.
Yeah.
That's a proper taser.
Yeah. So we got two things, we learned there. We learned to learn the tables, and we also learned that electricity was nothing to be messed about with.
Yeah. Okay. Let's crack on. What page number are we on, Phil?
We're on page 105, top of the page 105. Sorry, the bottom 105, top of 106. Okay,
we're going to White Maniac. We had a lot of comments, by the way, in relation to this. Let me just get to it. Yeah. Okay. And so it's good though. And again, the same comments, in my opinion, come from idiots. I really wish I had some really good comments that I could share on the radio, and they're just nonsensical, the comments I get back.
Were they supporting Mike Marino? Were they, or
no? They're just anti-Ian, anti-me, and anti-you. That's it, basically.
Anti-me?
It's
bastards.
trying to keep the lid on it, Brad, isn't it? That's the haters that's involved with these people that's caused these deaths, and there's many of them. And also, as you say, as we know, my sister.
Yeah.
Which Jeremy Bamber's case. Did you watch the documentary the other night, Phil?
No, I didn't. Sorry. No.
You watch it because his family, his cousins, and it was hearsay used against him in court that he was acting suspicious at the funerals, where they was set to gain, if he was found guilty or charged, to claim the whole inheritance.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, you should watch it, Brad. You should really watch it. We'll touch base on it again another day.
Yeah. I may try and get
what we've got to
Mark
remember,
on.
what we've got to remember about this guy is that where we left off, he's just said that basically after 2 guys died in the tanker, he one month later, he's going back in, according to him. Unheard of, basically, isn't it? It's craziness, really.
Yeah, see this. Yeah, this is where this is the point. For example, I spoke to Steve Hunt during the week, and I spoke to him a couple of weeks before that, who's got a strong opinion, yet he doesn't know half the facts that's being read out on the radio station. He actually probably did. He'd be lucky if he knows 10% of the facts.
Didn't you say to your Brad that if he'd have been there, this wouldn't have happened?
Correct.
It wasn't there. Yeah. I wonder what he means. How it wouldn't have happened if he was.
I think what he means is a responsible HGV driver, and there's no way he would have let anybody on or in his tanker, which is the correct thing to do.
Which is the law. Which is the law.
Yeah, all these people that are supporting the Draco and people like that, basically, they're supporting somebody that's committed an offence. He's a responsible HGV driver, yet he's let 2 kids go into his tanker, and they've both perished. That is an offence under the Health and Safety at Work Act.
Let's not forget. We still don't know how they died, do we? Let's be truthful. We have a lot of discussions behind the scenes about this.
We know where they died.
We know where they died, but we don't know how they died.
And we also know that the driver passed up, according to him, the jet wash lance to the kid sat on top.
But this was all fictitious lies, though, Phil, wasn't it? It was in his cab because he had his overalls around his waist. He wasn't even out at the tanker. Well, the CCTV confirmed.
They're his words, not mine.
Yeah, I know, Phil. I know.
What is the situation with the CCTV? Because that's something else that Steve Hunt said to me. I think the other day.
It's interesting, Brad, isn't it? Where he talks about the CCTV, claiming that I'm saying it's him, or they didn't have that jacket on, or they all have this jacket on. Let's hang on a minute here. This is the police's duty. Their sworn duty to identify everyone. Not Ian Leivers' job. That is not my role. I'm not a policeman. I always refer back to the Mrs. Min case where Julie Ogg was murdered by Billy Dunlop. And in that city centre, I think it was Newcastle, there was just shady figures. They looked like ghosts. But in the trial, it didn't have to be discussed who was who, because the police established the facts. And this is why we have the police. Without the police, we'd have chaos. And it appears in the Greenfeeds case, we have chaos. Steve Hunt should not even be having an opinion stating what I am saying. I'm using the facts from the CCTV footage.
They think that CCTV footage is doctored.
Yeah, that's what he said.
They believe they're not their statements. They believe they're not their signatures. They believe they probably weren't even there at the time. Everything's fake. Everything's dodgy, according to them.
Well, there's soon going to be the police are involved, and the true facts will soon be discovered.
I wouldn't necessarily agree with what Phil said there about their statements and that sort of stuff. But the they meant. Sorry, Steve Hunt said to me that the CCTV is the stuff that you're publishing. You've
Well, tell him to go to the police because they're waiting for him, and tell him to make those allegations against me. Because if I'm falsifying something, I'm committing a crime. But in reality, I'm speaking the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Yeah. He's also said he's got something else that he can't talk about, but I don't really get that bit either.
There's no point in saying it then, is there?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Perhaps it's that he knows how the men really died.
Well, that's, this is where I believe Draycott comes into the situation.
What about Dave Maruniak, who was at the scene, who they claiming that I'm saying it's fake when it actually is him? Because let me tell you something else, guys. In a meeting at Kennedy's law offices, I think it was in February 2022 before the trial, it was established that it was Dave Maruniak coming to fetch Nigel Curtis. We established this. These are lawyers and barristers. We used the CCTV footage and we all confirmed it. Now, when Jim Agros couldn't get Dave Maruniak to identify himself in the trial, and by the way, it's documented in the attendance notes that we established it was Maruniak, Jim Agros then said to the judge that he didn't know who it was. I mean, for God's sake.
Sorry, Phil, I thought you were going to say something.
No, it's okay. So I'm just looking here where you say we are, Phil. Is it at the point here where he says that didn't have problems with pumps blocking ?
I'm at that same location at the moment.
At the bottom of page 105.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to status quo then. So Phil, this is you.
What? Didn't have a problem with pumps blocking.
Okay, again, we're starting off with question. Sometimes the what's the definition of sometimes? Let's have a little Google on that one. Ian, on that point, just while I'm just checking on the definition. I mean, the lay definition sometimes is like, I don't know,
not often,
like once a year or something. What's your view on that?
Well, we know it was impossible for the pump to block unless a foreign object was in the tanker because it was a smoothie and there's nothing bigger than 10 mil down. So the pumps couldn't block because we've had this confirmed by the expert regarding Durop pumps. This man has been in the business for decades and he confirmed that the Durop pumps, as confirmed by the manufacturer, could handle particle sizes of 30 mil. So therefore, anything under 30 mil couldn't block a Durop VL20 pump. So sometimes, what followed on from that? And what have you found?
I've got a couple of ones here. I've got an analogy first. I sometimes work late on a Thursday, which I think is quite a good one. And then there's occasionally, from time to time, now and then, but at times periodically. So it's sometimes means it does happen. It's to be expected, but it's sometimes. So going back to what one of the people, sorry, I think it may have been Steve Hunt again, that said that the lobes were replaced every 8 months. So if that's sometimes, that's a long period, isn't it?
Yeah, and if you're going to change the lobes, Brad, it's not the guys who's doing the mixing. This comes down to the fitters, doesn't it? It's their duty then. If it's going to take over an hour to tip
Okay, it gets even better. I didn't even read this. Okay, it gets even better. Carry on, Phil, quickly.
So was it rare?
He said yes. So we're just discussing a definition there. We didn't even need to discuss So,
So drivers go and deliver to pig farm.
correct.
It would be pumped off on pig farm into tanks on that farm.
Yes.
Would you agree that the company did not receive complaints that farmers' pipes would block? You.
Yeah, no, I'm just reading it. I know they did. Farmers complaining about wrappers, foils, had to do square box fitting to remove excess bits in. Okay, this is a big one for you, Ian. Excess bits in the filter. Go on, Ian. What say you?
So, of course, anything 10 mil down, like if there was a bit of foil, 10 mil down. And some of my farms with their computerized systems wanted it with absolutely nothing in. So what we did for those farms, we built a filter box. So when the tanker arrived to pump it into their tankers, they went through another finer filter box. But again, what does that have to do with blocking? That just means that you're perfecting the confectionery blend.
In some respects, it goes in your favour. It shows that it exited the tanker.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's confirmed it, Brad. You're correct there.
Hey, okay. It go. I forgot. I'm just going to carry on slightly because I didn't finish it. I've just realised. I heard Ian tell Tim, don't know exactly when, long time ago, not much before 2016. Okay, let's just go through that actually, because that's quite interesting actually. I heard Ian tell Tim, don't know exactly when, long time ago, not much before 2016. Okay, so basically, again, this is what annoys me about this case. This is left in the open, like completely in the open.
He can't remember what he can remember is what he's saying.
Well, I want to add to this. This is why I needed to take the stand, isn't it? Because to me, that's double Dutch. I don't understand it. So I'd want to know, what did he hear me tell Tim? Because we know Tim Walker says that, you never know need to go in a tanker. So what am I needing to tell Tim? It's double Dutch. I don't know what he's referring to here.
It's just a little
basically, he suggested
taster, isn't it?
After the incident, he heard it that he told Tim to do something, but never before then.
It's just adding to the narrative. He's just saying, there were blockages, but I can't remember exactly when, and I can't remember who actually said what. But I remember Ian said something to Tim about blockages, So little snippet there for you, throw you a fish.
Yeah, interesting, guys. This one because it wasn't until I think March 2022 that Molly Mangan decided to try to contact the farmers to find out if they had a problem. And she claimed that some farmers didn't answer the calls, but Gillian's got life. This is Gillian's solicitor. But my biggest customer, Stockings's, John, confirmed that they spent around £20,000 a month with me, that they never had any problems with my product. And that's documented, but not given to the jury.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of pig feed, that, isn't it?
Actually, that's a good point, actually, Ian. Just out of interest, how many tons per year of pig feed would you deliver?
Well, circa, say I was doing about, at that time, around about 2,800 tons. So let's round it up, 3,000 tons a month. So like 36,000 tons.
Yeah. And how many, so three, okay, let's just try and, we only got a few minutes. How many drops would that be per day?
Yeah, let's average it. If there was 100 loads a month, round it up, 100 loads a month. So we were doing obviously about three loads a day.
Okay. All right, cool. We need to go to a break. Let me just see if we can just squeeze something else in very quickly now. Okay. Phil, do the next couple of questions, and we'll squeeze them in because they look quite straightforward.
So your evidence
this
is
is
that,
the judge. This is the judge.
so your evidence is that complaint from the farm, you heard Ian speak to Tim to take out impurities from the feed. HJ,
Oh,
you
okay,
said
that's
like
not, that's see, that's an interesting question, isn't it? That's a very interesting question. Okay, go to the judge.
you said like a tank.
Like a square bin, so it pumps it through it. What does that mean, even?
Talking about the filter box that we built for a few.
Right, okay, all right, okay.
But remember, Brad, you picked up brilliantly. This was after my tankers, so it's coming out the tankers, then going through another filter box.
Yeah. All right, we need to go to a music break. Who's going to introduce the first song?
Okay, let's have Feel So Good by Sonic.
Okay, Feels So Good by Sonic. Okay, we're going to play that now.
You always make me smile when I'm feeling down. You give me such a vibe, it's totally bona fide. It's not the way you walk, and it ain't the way you talk. It ain't the job you got that keeps me satisfied. You love me so.
Okay, that was Feel So Good by Sonique. Okay, we left off where the judge in this hearing basically said, you said like a tank. And the reply was from Mike Romaniak was like a square bin, so it pumps it through it. Can you describe that scenario, Ian?
Yes, that's a filter box, Brad. And with the judge asking this question, and he was a lord, you'd expect him to be highly intelligent. So let's think about it. It's like filtering your tea. Say you've got a green tea and you've got your little filter and you put it into you go in for afternoon tea and you're pouring it through. So it's demonstrating you could get nothing wrong with the teapot and you're finally filtering it after, which demonstrates we had a fantastic process and we wanted to eliminate the even minute particles before it went into my customers' tanks. So surely this judge should have said, well, it would be impossible to get a blockage with your tankers if after that you're putting in this brilliant process.
Okay. I mean, there's obviously many different stages, isn't there? Really. Okay. This is you, Phil. Now.
So once unloaded at the farm, the tankers would often pick up liquid from clients on the way back.
Yeah.
Before 2016, it was more liquids, and then closer to time, it was things for crushing. I think that was you, actually.
Sorry.
So they're going to breweries.
Yeah, but not so much around that time. Are struggling to get staff. Sorry, struggling to get stuff. Sell more crusher. So less liquid, more dense material.
That doesn't make sense. We were always collecting on our way back from breweries, dairies, Coca-Cola. It was regular work. So again, I don't like to keep stopping this, but backloads, if you had a problem with your tanker and it was blocked, then what did we tell Coca-Cola on the way back when they're full and can't run the factory? Oh, we're not coming in. We've got a blockage with one of our tankers. It's obscene. And this is why I needed to have given evidence.
Okay.
I don't quite understand this next bit. So it says, so although you had clear blockages just 10 times in 20 years, is it your interjection from JH, whoever he is? When was the last time you were in a tanker?
That doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. When was the last time you? A few months before. I'm guessing before the incident. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah. That. Yeah. We ignore that last one. But this is a. When was the last time you went into tanker? His response is a few months before.
Sure.
Yes. Can't be exact.
I can never remember, can they? Can never be.
But no, this is really good though, Phil. This is really good because it just identifies the inconsistencies. And you go back to like Robin Neve, right, who said he was in there like, I think the expression you use, like a rat up a pole. And you got him saying it was often, sometimes, can't remember, and he's actually said himself 10 times in 20 years. That's a massive difference. And that's notwithstanding the fact that Ian rejects the proposition that they're in tankers all the time.
That's all.
Yeah. So, this is good stuff.
And because Neve was on the record, wasn't he? Neve had a record of 3 times in a week, didn't he?
Yeah. I can never forget it. I can't. It's stuck in my head all the way through this series, him. Because it's how he was allowed to perjure himself so much. It's absolutely shocking. But the problem is, what I can't, which we haven't got actually, is the order of witnesses to try and make this make sense. If he's like witness number 1, then okay, fine, fair game, you get an immediate pass.
Well, I'll quickly give you a bit of heads up, Brad. We have started doing it correct recently, so it went first. Richard Draycott, Nigel Curtis, Dave Maruniak, Mike Maruniak, who we're on now, then next Jack Maruniak, and then we can go from there. There's Marty
Yeah, bro.
Nicola.
It'd be really good to get the order because if Rob and Neve come on at first, that's a game changer in itself. But but even though we know he's lying anyway, right? But I knew that anyway. I knew it anyway, especially when he said that he went into a tanker at chest height with pig feeding. I was asked to anyway, at least one of the two. Either way,
this is the guy that didn't want anybody coming to his house, but he's quite happy to go anywhere in the UK to stick a knife in somebody.
Yeah. So it'd be good to get that together, the order of witnesses, and then we can do something like an anagram, Phil, I guess, and we can just say, look, this is what they said, that's what they said, that sort of thing. Anyway, that's for a later date. I've got patience, so it's fine. Let's carry on.
Okay. Well, I'll just remind everybody what I said earlier on about everything being fake and not being them and blah, 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 blah. So, document from 2008, your job description, your signature.
Yeah, not sure. Don't look like it. Long time ago. Come on, you're having a fucking laugh, you prick. The miss aren't how I do mine. MS, it says. Sorry, aren't how I don't do mine, and I don't follow on with a K. So I'm guessing he's doing the fact of the lettering and that sort of thing. Ian, remind the listeners when you had to get a company in to confirm about what's it called, Toolbox Talk.
Yes,
where they said the signature wasn't theirs.
Yes, very quickly. We purchased a new man cage for the telehandlers for lifting at heights, and Rab did a toolbox talk in the staff canteen. Everyone's there. Everyone signed the register, including both Mike Maruniak and Dave Maruniak. The very next morning, he walks down to the mixing shed. They've got a loading shovel bucket, and Mike Maruniak's been hoisted up at heights. Rab went ballistic. They both then denied being in the toolbox talk. So what I did secretly, I had examples of both their handwriting. Alex Fortune put this together, and we sent it off to an handwriting expert. It cost me £500, and it came back that it was both their signatures. We gave this to Kennedy's Law solicitors.
What did they do with it?
You know the answer, Phil.
Yeah. That's a common theme, isn't it? Yeah. Phil asks, what do they do with it? All right, following page.
So, following page, is that your signature?
He says yes here, yeah. So he's arguing that one of them isn't. Sorry.
More of your.
Sorry. 1 second, right? Right. It's on about your job description. You signed for it, yeah. And he said he's not sure. It doesn't look like it, right? The other question that I'd think to ask as well: does that match your job description?
Yeah. Road sweeper of the M6. Is that your job?
All right, go and carry on.
More of a scroll. Could be your signature.
Don't look like it.
2016, your job title, yard manager.
He says foreman, yeah. Foreman manager, sorry. Yeah.
You're responsible for the yard, yourself, your father, Jack, for Polish workers, Gavin, and for Nathan.
I love this. I love this response. So he identifies himself as a manager. Well, we work together.
Back to 192.
Let's just look at right. You and Ian talk quickly. Let's look at the definition of a manager. All right, you guys talk quickly, please.
Well, he obviously it must. I mean, although he is the yard manager, and his dad is under his control. He never actually admits it ever that he manages his dad.
Yeah, he does manage his dad. However, his dad was the controlling person there. You know, he was
controller.
Phil, I was just about to say it. Dave Maruniak was the fat controller in charge of the entire yard.
Okay, I've got the definition now, right? A professional, a person responsible for overseeing an organization, physical and operational environment for themselves and others. That's the definition of it. So
Excellent.
basically, we work together. But he says he is the manager, but no, actually, they don't really work together, do they? Really, to be fair. But that's what he says. But that's the definition of a manager.
It's certainly not responsible for transport. That's for sure.
No, but I accept that as well. Me as a manager, I would say I was the go-to person. If there's something that happens, or basically organize. Well, that's the definition you just said. Basically, okay, I'll shut up there, Brad. There, basically, yeah, go on.
But there's a grey line, isn't there? You've got a tanker there that theoretically is blocked. Who's responsible?
Yeah.
Is it transport or is it yard?
It's a bit of both in that situation, isn't it?
I thought you suppose it would be, really, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, he says back to 192, your signature 193, 194, 195. Certificates you are having training each year's. Look at the signatures and confirm they are yours, please.
I'm just thinking about what his dad said. He said there's no training done whatsoever on Greenfeeds. That's definitely not 194. That's not his signature, he's saying. But his dad said there was zero training, right? But yeah, he was in charge of his dad, right? But he's accepting that he has had some training. But his dad said there was never any training.
Yeah, well, you ain't read nothing yet.
Oh, really?
Can you confirm at 195, 17th of the 7th, 2015, given a course, you remember?
I can remember something, but not what. Jeez. Oh, my days. Okay. All right, let me just read it out and we'll talk about it. Okay, and no wonder why you said this is going to take a long time to finish up. All right. I can remember something, but not what they said. FEMA stuff and slideshow. I mean, listen, right? Yeah, I've done toolbox talks and that sort of stuff, right? This gives them culpable responsibility in some respects, just in their attitude to health and safety. I was there, but I wasn't there. I was vacant. You see what I'm saying? Because I wasn't paying attention. I was probably on my mobile phone or whatever, or I was picking my nose. And basically, he's saying. So you got David, his dad, saying there was nothing, and you got him saying, I can remember something, but not what they said. What were you doing then during that time? Because the people there weren't there for fun.
Do you know who delivered that course?
No.
His sister.
Right.
It was his sister, and I think it was Laura actually that delivered that course, slideshow.
FEMA stuff and slideshow.
Yeah, of which I've
so basically what he's saying is he didn't give a shit about health and safety.
Correct. Couldn't be bothered. Wasn't listening.
Yeah. I know my job. I know my job. And I don't, you guys can talk all the bollocks you want. I know what I'm doing, basically.
Page 196, record of training received. Certified Mike Maruniak received training, etc. Do you remember this training?
See, this is again, jeez. Wasn't training as such, but remember him showing how to run. Well, how do you classify training? Ian's gone quiet for some reason.
Disbelief.
Listen, I was going to say not that word, just a layman term, I'm gobsmacked. You know, I'm speechless. I was speechless throughout the trial, and I have many emails sent to Kennedy's law solicitors stating we were being framed and we were being set up.
Phil, just a quick question, right? And this is a stupid question, but how would you classify training?
It's instruction. It's an organised instruction, demonstration, basically, on how things operate. That's
Right.
how I would describe it.
And also risk associated with it, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. Don't put your head in the oven.
But I don't understand how he can get away with saying wasn't really training.
How would he know? Is he a trainer? He wouldn't know, would he?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you were taught how to do change a baby's nappy, would that be called training? Would you say?
Well, yeah.
But he wouldn't even recognize that, I imagine, as being training.
No.
All right, fine. All right. This is outrageous. So you remember
being shown how the Coke plant worked, appropriate Coke. So you remember being shown how the Coke plant worked and how it ran.
See, that's training to me, Phil. Yeah, he replies, yes, that's training.
Well, you'll remember the risk assessment and method statement that was done for the new Coke crushing plant. Mike Maruniak did that alongside his sister, who had input with that risk assessment, and Spencer Commons, the electrician.
Yeah. But their argument was he was just an electrician. What would he know?
I wonder if he had any training.
Well, I'll tell you, check him out. Spencer Commons used to be a professional footballer, and his brother was a more famous footballer who played for Celtic, Chris Commons. So they could play football.
I wonder if they need training.
197.
Footballers, though, right? They need training, don't they?
Yeah. I'm sure Spencer, well, I do know. So
where Dave Ramuniak denies any training whatsoever. I mean, how do you wake up in the morning? Do you do your shoelaces and all that sort of jazz? You know. Anyway, I'm being semantic, really, to be honest. On that. Carry on, anyway, Phil.
So 197, safe working process. I suggest to you this document was written by your sister with your help and Spencer, because Spencer raised fact there needed to be a procedure for the can plant.
I'm guessing. Okay, yeah. He says here, I can remember bits of it, but not all the details. Can't remember how it come about. I mean, how does this guy get to work in the morning? I can remember lists of things. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, the good old, it was a long time ago excuse. Selective memory, that's what these people have got, Brad. Selective memory.
Yeah, but do you know what annoys me the most, Phil, right? Is that the fact that this sort of questioning was allowed just to be left like that.
Yeah. It was in accordance with a safe working procedure.
He wasn't the best teacher, friend of the family, only electrician. He only showed me how it stopped and started. What do you say about that, Ian?
Well, his sister obviously was trained in health and safety. It was a new can crushing plant. Conveyors have to start and stop. The crusher has to start and stop. It was the same crusher that would used, the same type, the same model from the early 1990s. So by the fact that he was an established operator, he just needed to understand how it started and stopped.
So
199.
You accept, like before that, Phil, you accept that all he has to do is press two buttons. Is that what you're saying?
Not two buttons. You've got the conveyor that fed the crusher and the conveyor that took the packaging away from the crusher.
Yeah.
And
The point
sure.
being, the point being, the job was not quite straightforward. It's just saying starting and stopping. There was loading, unloading, exiting, moving stuff.
They did in the risk assessment and method statement.
Exactly. That's what the point I was making. Yeah. All right. Go on, Phil.
199, 513. Mike Maruniak, your signature.
Yes.
Page 200, your signature.
Yes. I remember Kel J coming to show. Coming to show. God, you can't make this shit up. You really can't. I remember Kel J coming to show how to use the equipment. How is that not training? Signature in the middle column, and that it was not. Oh, I see what he said in here. That was not to show you safety features. It was how to use it.
You're now talking about the
Yeah.
baler manufactured by Kelj, who came out specifically to give training on their piece of equipment, being that baler.
Yeah. See, the other thing as well, if you didn't take health and safety, any you know what they call it, scant disregard to health and safety, right? The this is training. This is someone having a serious consideration not only for their plant but also for the operatives using it to make sure they use it safely themselves.
Of course, I didn't purchase this baler and then just go and pick it up and say, "There you go, lads." I had the company that I purchased it from come out to give training.
Yeah. Yeah, Dave says no training. And
You
he
would
said,
do, wouldn't you? I mean, if you spend thousands on a piece of equipment, you don't want some goon breaking it day one, do you? You want them operating it properly.
yeah. I mean, we've in this series, we've actually talked about things like white finger and that sort of stuff, and some of the witnesses know about white finger.
You've had a claim for white finger at the pit. He had a lot of money for white finger.
Yeah. But we discussed this sort of stuff. So that the mere fact that I just don't understand how they can get away with no training. I mean, me personally, right? I know I'm going to be a bit exaggerating here. I would bang on the table and say, "You're lying, aren't you?" Because you've just said no training. Your dad said no training, and then you're talking about training.
Well, I'd hang on to you banging for this next bit.
Oh, is it? Okay, what's coming?
So part of manufacturer showing how to use it is how to use it safely, correct?
He says yes.
Yeah. So induction, long time ago, but spoken to about quality.
Oh, jeez.
Go on.
I was never inducted. My father worked there. He got me the job, casual, and first then went full time. Now, I mean, how many times do I repeat myself? These people suffer from distortions. I'm being polite there, by the way. I was never inducted. I kind of get that kind of thing, right? Where, back in the day and all that sort of stuff. But you are inducted by way of following, the person that knows and has more knowledge of you, than you. But they're just denying anything. You're going back, like, say, Dave, was it 20 years he worked there, Ian?
Yes.
Yeah. So perhaps inductions in the formal sense didn't really exist, but you would be the instructor. So Dave would learn from you,
Well, of course.
you learned from your dad.
Of course, Brad, but also like Phil remembered, and you will know this one, Brad. There's such a term as like grandfather rights, learning from your peers. All of these went to it.
Yeah. So you learn from your dad, and you taught that on to Dave, and Dave.
No, hang on, Brad. Dave learnt before me. He learnt from my dad because he was a lot older than me and worked for my dad.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Oh, right, okay. So either way, I mean, do you know one thing? An expression I use quite a lot. I know a lot of educated idiots. Yeah, right. In this sort of industry, the way you learn is on the tools. You know, you learn from your peers on the job, and yeah, you won't necessarily have an official induction like you have nowadays, in my opinion. Because it didn't when did the Health and Safety Work Act come out, Phil?
1974, something like that.
Oh, okay, so probably would have existed by then, I guess. All right, fine, let's move on.
It says, do you not agree?
No, where does it say I signed? I didn't start in 08. Oh yeah, 1997. All right, carry on.
Is that your signature?
It looks similar, yes. Any date could have been put in shortly afterwards.
So now he's claiming it's fake.
Well, it's just really, it's nondescript, isn't it, what you're saying?
But you signed, you had been inducted. I signed a lot of things. They could get my signature on anything. I weren't showing nothing. I wasn't showing nothing. Can you remember exactly what you were shown in 1997?
I wasn't shown nothing. Who showed me? I mean, this is just a joke, isn't it? It's a joke. But we need to try and go through this.
1974 was the Health and Safety at Work Act. So I was right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So medical declaration form.
This isn't when I started. Can't remember it, but it is my signature. Hey, what's that about? What's the medical declaration form about?
What they do is they have to sign a form to actually declare if they've got any physical disabilities.
Oh.
So it's like you draw a line in the sand. So like if he's got a club foot, that means it's highly unlikely that he can claim for that club foot if he trips down a hole in the yard.
Oh, later on down the line. A bit like life insurance.
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
Well, fortunately, he did and got paid out.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
Is that true, Ian?
Oh, you know.
I love it. Right. 207, 208.
Yes, those are my details after I started with the company.
209, training you provided, how to work it and how to work it safely.
Yes, but not proper health and safety. I worked at a different company now and completely different.
Good.
I've got a comment on that, right? But what I don't want to do is drag out this because I want to get it out of the way in this show. But my own well, we haven't got time to doing it now. My only comment is that he's an adult, right? He's an adult, and the if you was in an unsafe work environment, yeah. This is me personally. Yeah. A, I wouldn't want to work there. Or B, I would change things to make it safe, and insist on stuff. I go back to the scant disregard of health and safety. It annoys me so much, right? So you've got these people here that are saying there's no health and safety. There is health and safety, possibly sometimes maybe, could be, would be, should be, all that sort of jazz, yeah. And they take no responsibility if it is. I mean, I just wouldn't. I wouldn't do it. Love nor money. I wouldn't do it if the workplace wasn't safe. I wouldn't. I wouldn't allow my family members there. His dad recruited him, he's saying, into the workplace. The daughter's been recruited and the other son's been recruited into the workplace. That's not a safe place, apparently, because they've got scant disregard to health and safety. I'm going on a rant now because it pisses me off.
His mum was on cash in hand working there. His wife worked there cash in hand. I think the even great grandson came to debag chocolate. Underage, but on a Saturday taking chocolate out of bags. All of them, the entire Marooniac family. Oh, and we was accused, and this is documented, of nepotism.
Right.
Oh. I think you should notify the tax authorities. They've earned all this money, cash in hand.
I don't know what to say about that, Ian.
Table 3, 140. Yours and father's timesheets.
Sorry, Phil, I just literally just checked on something. So where are we at now?
So actually, we missed a line. It's the same in 210 and 211 for Nathan and Gavin.
Yes.
Table 3, 140. Yours and father's timesheets.
Yes.
Who would fill them out?
Me or my dad.
Look at the sheets, Alpro, that used to go in.
Yes. Ian, you look like you're going to say something there.
Yeah, it's his mother that used to fill their weekly timesheets out.
Right.
But they only had one timesheet for the two of them, didn't they?
Indeed.
Yeah, I've seen the timesheets. Yeah. What does Alpro mean? So interesting.
It's a product, Alpro, a company.
Drink the soya milk.
Oh, okay.
So correct to say, fair bit of details on what you'd done.
Mostly, yes.
Page 141. Saturday, clean outside tanks.
Carry on.
Could be mixing tanks or storage, tankers, etc.
Okay, this is really interesting, actually. It was a crushing tank.
On the Tuesday, you've got wash out green goddess.
Yes.
When it says washed out green goddess, may have been someone got in from the top.
Sorry for my silence. I'm just reading this. It says here, no, couldn't wash them out from the top. Does that mean, is that one of the ones with the back door?
No, this is the tanker that you saw when you came to site.
Yeah.
The one with the front that you couldn't get past the front baffle because it was arch shapes. And if there was any liquid in, then you've got to swim under each one.
Right. So how do they clean the green goddess out if they had to?
Well, again, we didn't need to wash them out at all. Right, but if you did want to rinse it out, as I've always said, you can do it from the lid at the front. Rinse water through, because by the curvature of the tanker, everything goes down to a 2-inch strip down the middle and a little bit of water behind it. And the way the tank slopes to the back, it obviously washes it out.
Right. Something I've just noticed here then, he's actually written when he washes out tankers. On the timesheets that I've seen, it never mentions washing out tankers. Most the ones that I've seen, have we got any evidence of anybody washing out Gordon?
I've not seen none on no timesheets.
I've not.
Have you, Phil?
No, and I've had them all. Right. I've had their timesheets for a year and not seen it.
That's really interesting. That's another.
They talk about washing the outside of tankers.
Yeah, that's really interesting. That is. That's another thing that you can send to the CCRC. That's a very good point there. All right. Okay. Fine. Carry on.
On the Tuesday, you've got wash out green goddess.
Yes.
When it says wash out green goddess, may have been someone got in from the top.
We couldn't. We just read this. Couldn't was them out the top?
Could fill them with water, could you?
Would need a lot of water.
Yeah, he's been a bit facetious there, isn't he? He's been a bit facetious there. He's taking him literally, saying you couldn't fill it with water because that'd take a lot of water. It would take 22,000 litres.
That's actually quite funny, yeah, because you can fill it all the way up to fill it up. Actually, yeah, cocky little shit. Yeah. I got what you're saying there. Yeah, to fill it up was taking a lot of water.
Well, the pressure washer had hot water that you could spray in.
I'm just laughing at the last comment actually you made there. The sorry, well, could on certain tanks, depending on products, as whole is different place. Company had holes sealed up to save weight. What does that mean, Ian?
Company had holes sealed up to save weight. He's probably referring to Gordon, where of course I took the front and back lid off when I took all the lagging off, sealed them up and just left the middle lid. Because of course, if we had problems and people were going to die, like Dave Maruniak says, if he was in the mixing shed, why would I seal up the front and back lid if it was inevitable he was going to die? I did it because I didn't need them and I didn't need the lagging on. So I did, like he says here, I took off every little bolt, everything, if I could, to make the tankers lighter to carry extra product.
Okay. All right then. All right, we need to go to break. Who's going to introduce the next song? Okay,
I'll pick one. We'll do, I'm not sure I've had it before. You probably won't remember just the Pretenders. So Pretenders, Chrissy Hyde, I'll Stand By You.
I love that song actually. All right. Let's play I Stand By You now.
So sad, the tears are in your eyes. Come on and come to me now. Don't be ashamed to cry. Let me see you through, 'cause I've seen the dark side too. When the night falls on you, you don't know what to do. Nothing you confess could make me love you less. I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you. Won't let nobody hurt you. I'll stand by you. So if you're mad, get mad. Don't hold it all inside. Come on and talk to me now. Hey, what you got to hide? I get angry too. Well, I'm alive like you. When you're standing at the crossroads, don't know which path to choose. Let me come on.
Okay, that was "I'll Stand By You." What a great song! And I thought it interesting that Ian mentioned the fact that it's before my time. But I remember that song from when I was younger. Actually, it's hardly ever played. Actually, I wonder if we play it on the radio station. Actually, I should check that. Actually, it's a great song. The okay, where do we leave off, Phil?
I think we're at the bottom of page 108.
Yeah, I'm here.
So he's just saying that the pressure washer got hot water. Blah, blah, blah. It says clean out tanker, but doesn't necessarily mean clean out inside.
It would have done, he says. What do you say about that, Ian?
Would have, should have, could have.
Well, okay, wait. All right, let's move on. Let's move on then.
Page 147, clean outside of tanks. Washing details, outside of tank.
Assuming holding tanks outside as products would ferment, sorry. What do you say about that, Ian?
Yeah, you can get fermentation, of course, with all the sugars. And so, yeah, they sometimes ferment, expand, and come over. And, of course, you need to wash down the tankers on the outside.
No, the next question is really good. Jeez.
I've taken you to every reference to cleaning tanks.
Really? Has he done that? I suppose you can only do inside, outside, left, right side, upside down, and all that sort of jazz. But he goes on to say many different types of tanks. It's fair to say that with the few tankers you had, how many did you have, Ian? Is it 6?
I was only ever running 3-4 tankers maximum, but I'd always have a spare one anyway.
Right.
And perhaps 4 trucks at any one time, but then again, one of them was operating the articulated roll-on, roll-off trailer that Perry worked on nights and Steve Hunt on days. Steve Hunt being the person in the yard out of the drivers, he was there every single day, half a dozen times a day coming in and out. So he had to have access of the mixing shed. And as you know, he has always venomously said he would never allow someone into a tanker.
Yeah, and the other drivers have said they would never go and tanker themselves as well. I don't think that's necessarily in relation to basically it's not their job. It's that they just wouldn't even do it.
Well, Stephen also said this wouldn't have happened if he'd been there that day. He wasn't working that day. Had he been there, he said this wouldn't have happened. So what did happen? But again, let's move on.
Okay. All right.
Well, on the evidence, page 145, the only time you entering tanks, 7th to the 2nd, 16, up to date of incident. That is the only reference, washing out a tanker.
We were told not to put. Oh, wow. Well, this is a big one for you, Ian.
Massive.
We were told not to put certain jobs on certain tickets by Gillian and Ian. It could have been edited. Like I said, I can't remember. So basically, he's saying to you,
he's accusing me of a crime. However, I confirmed that he's committed crime by denying he was in a toolbox talk, and I used an handwriting expert to confirm it was both him and his father in that toolbox talk. But he's now accusing me. Why would I, when I've got the process, the perfect process, the perfect product that never needed a tank cleaning out? You asked me a question on our chat, Brad, last week. Did customers ever complain? No, of course not. I couldn't have had a successful business if people... And my customers' tanks were sealed. So they never entered their tankers, ever.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a question for you. What tickets are you talking about?
Well, I think he's on about timesheets here. I'm just trying to deconstruct what we're talking about here.
Yes, you're right, Brad. And you again, both of you fantastically picked out. He's talking about his timesheets. Well, his mother filled them in. So
Did she know then, did she?
Yeah, there you go. It's his mother's handwriting on those timesheets.
Is it? His mum's
Yeah.
hand-
Yeah. Terry Maroonian.
But
God.
he
Or even Nicky
this is
Maroonian.
this
Nicky
is
Maroonian some out also. Both him and his father never filled them out.
this is a massive oxymoron. Yeah, they probably put it on that day anyway for whatever reason, right? Because they, you know, cleaned a tanker from the outside or inside, whatever it may be. But then he says here we were told not to put certain jobs on certain tickets by Gillian and Ian, right? It could have been edited. Edited what? Did you use Tipex on those timesheets, right? But also, nobody to date has mentioned this, that you were told not to put certain stuff on your timesheet. He's the only one. It's the first time. That's just come
Why
up.
would you tell them not to put it on the timesheet?
I've no idea, Phil. No idea.
Unless
You know,
you're out premonition, don't
it's
put it
a
on the
very
timesheet in
serious-
case somebody dies in a tanker.
Well, Brad will normally pick up. This is a very serious accusation. So
Yeah.
let's see where the barristers are.
Washing out a tanker is a big job.
He. Well, I'm a little bit gobsmacked by the last statement. He said yes.
Washing out a tanker is something you would put
See,
on.
actually, you're right. Just going back to that comment there, yeah, right. So it says it's a big job, and he's mentioned it only once here, yeah. The barrister and on the timesheet. Ian, I'm speaking for you here, Ian. Yeah. If someone was doing a big job for the day, you would record it on your timesheet accordingly. Yeah. Right. He's basically saying he's massive contradictions here. So basically he's saying there's only one identifier timesheet which says they did a big job.
Hang on, bro. He's washing out tanker. It didn't say inside. It never says inside, does it? It means
it does say the word out. It does say the word out.
Washing out tanker from the lid.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, though, right? If you applied logic to this, right? Only once they wrote on a timesheet, and basically you would need to know. I mean, for me, if someone was vacant doing stuff for say 5 hours or I don't know 10 hours in a business or whatever, you'd need to know, right? What have you been doing all day? He's only written it down once.
How can you not have it on? So you've got a void of all that day then, because he's accusing me of telling him not to put certain jobs down. So what did they put in its place that day? Because I needed to know what they was doing every day.
Well, this is the bottom line, isn't it? This is all it's for, is so that you know what they're doing. What you're going to do, tell them not to put it on so you're going to kid yourself.
Yeah. And
don't put cleaning tankers on there because I really don't want to know.
And to be honest with you, Phil, if it was so serious and I knew people were going to die, I had no need for them to fill out daily worksheets, what they're doing, job sheets. I just wouldn't have bothered, would I?
Yeah, good point. No. Good point. You wouldn't even bother because you didn't care. Yeah, geez.
Somebody so he knows what they were doing, and you know.
But no one said this to date in all the witness statements we read so far.
No.
And also he talks about editing.
Brad, where are the barristers to pull this apart?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's what makes it disgusting. Mm.
So he's made
sorry, go on.
to be a killer, knowing that people could die in tankers, and I'm telling them not to put it on job sheets, their worksheets that they didn't need to fill in, but the barristers just let it go.
Yeah, like I say, he goes on to say, which is a common phrase which Phil hates. I couldn't remember. Anyway, let's carry on to reason.
Yeah, well, I think Ian's right. I mean, it's a serious accusation. They've just let it go, haven't they?
Yeah, but that's the whole theme of everything, Phil. I've always said this is how this is being allowed to go on, but it's happened, but this here is massive implication because I wonder if Ian said it to and Gillian said it to everybody. Don't mention specific things on your timesheets.
What did we think the juror thought when this accusation was
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh well.
It's beyond oh well, but anyway, we are where we are. But yeah, exactly. And it's me personally. If I was thinking, I'll be thinking. Well, actually, I would be a different kind of juror because I'll be thinking a lot, a bit like I'm doing now.
This was bollocks, is what you'd be thinking.
I think this is a shit show beyond belief. So that's what I'll be thinking.
Yeah.
I know.
The reason I suggest.
I wonder, right? Here's a question, right? I've never been involved in a Crown Court trial. Is whether or not a juror can say, "Look, can you recall that witness and ask them these questions?" Can you do that?
No, you can only send a note to the judge asking questions. Is what you can do.
Oh, right, okay. Right, okay.
And then he's not guaranteed to answer them.
Yeah, this is something I want to learn more about because this is gross beyond belief.
So the reason I suggest to you why only one entry, because entering tankers was not common practice, was it?
Okay. Yes, I've listed the people that do it. Mainly mine were mixing tank. Stuart Lance picked a pound out. Oh, I say flip the coin, basically saying here, and we cleaned it out. Oh, Ian, that's
I read it that they've picked a pound out. What we'd cleaned out.
I'm guessing
found a quid in the mix.
Yeah,
oh right.
But it's also said mainly mine were mixing tanks. So when it says where it washed out tanker, was it the mixing tanker?
Oh yeah, good point. Yeah.
Nothing was identified.
No.
Yeah.
So you'd only cleaned 10 times of 20 years. Oh, God, here we go.
Yeah, because I have problems with my legs. Stop it.
On the 18th of the 8th, 2017, do you remember being interviewed? You remember?
It says here a number of people.
That interview was recorded. You want to play two parts, not contentious. I don't know what this is about. In 1119, a recording, you were described as a yard manager since April of that year. What were your responsibilities? Who was doing what jobs? Were you in charge?
This is a great one. It goes back to delegation. Yes. Ian, right? Did he get paid as a manager or an employee, like as in a junior member of staff?
A yard manager.
Yeah. So he had a premium pay, yeah?
He did. And immediately after the deaths, he said he couldn't handle the job anymore. Well, no kidding, Batman. His dad's just killed the two men. So he didn't want to be the yard manager anymore. So he had a reduction in pay and went back to yard staff. He refused.
So before the deaths, he had a premium pay, yeah?
Yes.
Right. Okay. And you're going to go on to say that afterwards, what happened?
He threw the towel in, said he couldn't handle the yard manager's job anymore, and I was demoted. Matthew Wilkson and Jake Welch took the reins.
Okay. So it says here, so the question was, were you in charge? He says yes. Me, Jack, Dad, 4 Poles, meaning Polish people, Gavin and Nathan. So he doesn't even accept, he says he was in charge, but we've just established then, in relation to just his pay, which is an easy way to measure stuff, that he was in charge, but yet what he says is diverts it onto, is what I call a distraction game. Me, Jack, Dad, 4 poles, Gavin and Nathan. So in effect, what he's saying was he wasn't in charge. That's the
way. Team effort.
Yeah.
Well, hang on. We've got a Crown Court trial, and I've always been led to believe a Crown Court trial is very serious, but we're allowed just to name people as 4 poles, and 2 people's died.
Yeah.
But in a
no, 100%. This is distraction game. The problem is, I just read the next question here as well. He's basically saying, yes, I'm in charge. We now identified that he's a premier employee, so to speak, being paid in accordance to being someone with responsibility. And then he says, yes, me, Jack, Dad, 4 poles, Gavin and Nathan. It's basically he's trying to associate all these people into the same pool as being in charge, yet he wasn't.
So then we say you were in charge, weren't you?
But hang on a minute, let's just go back to that one, because off the top of my head, there's also down there a Darren Cooper. Now, he refused to come to court because he said they're blaming the company and it's not the company's fault. Nathan Buckley told us this, and they was going to subpoena him. So he didn't come. Then you've got Stephen Webb.
2 fitters.
2 fitters. Danny Milner. It's been left to say just 4 poles. What were they? Poles in the ground? I mean, I don't understand. 4 poles.
Pole voters, maybe pole voters.
Maybe.
Polish people.
Ah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, we've established it that
So you were in charge, weren't you?
So he's trying to remove himself from being in charge. That's what he's basically trying to. He's
going to tell you he's in charge now.
Yeah, I've read it. Don't worry. He's trying to diminish his responsibility. Okay, repeat that again, Phil.
So you were in charge, weren't you?
Not in charge. Not Stuart Brown and Gillian Leivers came down. I mean, it's just a ridiculous statement, isn't it?
Yeah. Then he tells us what he was in charge of. You were responsible.
Crushing, yeah.
So he was in charge of the crushing plant.
Yeah. When you go back to his previous statement, he identifies a number of people that he was in charge of, including his dad.
And he was also in charge of the mixing, he said. He worked in the mixing shed. Now he's just responsible for crushing. Not in the mixing shed where he worked for decades.
Here we go. And you were instructing re-cleaning of tankers.
This is a response from you, Ian. No, that wasn't my department. Yet he said he was in the tankers all the time.
Yeah. Nobody's department, I'm afraid. Cleaning inside tankers was nobody's department.
The yard was yours, and so were the tankers.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just going back to what are you instructing re-cleaning the tankers? No, it wasn't my department. Again, removing himself from responsibility. Accepting him as a manager. They're not a manager. I was just part of the cohort group.
Team.
And you were instructing re-clean tankers. No, it wasn't my department.
The yard was yours, and so were the tankers.
No, how could it be? Okay, this actually makes a little bit of sense, right? No, how could it be? They left the yard, not my responsibility. Actually,
being facetious there again.
Yeah. I've got a question there, Ian. When were the tankers operating 24/7?
We had drivers 4 on 4 off, so they never stopped, and drivers sometimes couldn't get back to base at night. So there was loads in the holding tank. They came in, they loaded up, and they went out. They never stopped, and it was a 7-day-a-week operation.
Right. Okay. So it could be true that the tankers themselves is not his responsibility.
No, no, they were the lorry driver's responsibility.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. All right. All right. Okay.
Well,
Carry on.
while his taco was in, there were his responsibility.
Yeah, that's a good point, Phil. Actually, yeah, legally, that's a good point. Whilst the taco's still running, it's the driver's responsibility. Thereafter, it's not their responsibility, isn't it?
So true.
Once it's stood down, the driver's out of the cab and it's all switched off. And
Richard Scott took his tachograph out when a police officer walked him back down the yard that night after the death. So he was responsible for his lorry and tanker right up until he went home that night.
Yeah.
This is really interesting. What happens next?
Yeah, would Nathan be aware it was dangerous? And then all hell broke loose.
And the judge is objecting.
No, John Harrison, this is the prosecution barrister.
All right, let me just quickly pause a second. Let me just quickly hold on. Okay, so John Harrison objecting. Jury asked to take a break. I'm wondering. Okay, we're going to find out. All right.
He says that he wanted to adduce his evidence that it was the only time Nathan had ever done it. This is the guy that was in and out 3 times a week. Or was it? No, that was Robin, wasn't it?
That was Robin, yeah. Let's just go back. MB.
Yeah, because Nathan had only been at company a few weeks, hadn't he?
Yeah, 4 weeks, yeah. Can we ask for a section to be played and make and the judges asked how long, and the response is 5 to 10 seconds. I observed the question, did Nathan know it's dangerous? MB wanted to adduce his evidence that it was the only time Nathan had ever done it. Then going to take him to give evidence as far as he was aware, not dangerous. You just heard from this witness. Carry on. This is the judge now. You can read this bit, Phil.
As part of this difficulty, part of trial management, I would like to know about clips, or if you tell me in front of a jury it's not contentious. I have been told on 2 separate occasions something agreed when it wasn't. Very rare. It cannot happen again. Things unfolding in front of the jury can cause issues. Note they handed. Why samples of mix handed to the office? Was sample tested for CO2? We'll keep sitting until this is finished. Release Jack. So presumably they've got Jack Maruniak lined up to give evidence, and he's realised they're not going to get to him, so he's told them to release him.
Yeah.
We call the jury back in to recap. Going to tell the jury they should ignore the final question on the tape and any answer or final answer because his view on someone else's opinion. And he says to go further in relation to 2000. Sorry?
You know, I'm just thinking, Ryan. I'm just thinking about legally now. The would Nathan be aware it was dangerous? I think that's a valid question. I mean, you could say it's hearsay, but I suppose they could have said, like, rephrase it. Are you aware it would be dangerous?
Did Steve say that he spoke to Nathan, who was a young lad, and can't remember. Has he said that?
He said it was his mentor, didn't he?
Yeah. I wonder why Steve wasn't called.
Yeah.
The man in the yard every day.
Okay, it goes into very difficult sort of.
Well, I want to pick out something here. The jurors, actually, which we discussed earlier, I wasn't aware of this. They've put up and asked if samples were taken and handed to the office. Yes, every single load of sample was taken, and it was tested for the dry matter. It says, was sample tested for CO2? Well, there was no CO2. We wouldn't test it for CO2.
Okay.
Why would you test it for gas? We're not going to go in a tanker.
We've got some more housekeeping stuff here. Let me quickly rattle through it. Go further in relation to 2006 incident. please don't speculate. We will hear evidence in relation to that. We were making bad cat. I don't want to read that bit out. Directing, not leave that one. Yeah. The reason why, just for sake of listeners, I don't want to read this out, because this didn't happen, and I don't know prejudice the CCRC case.
Well, they did bring in bad character against Gillian. The judge allowed bad character to come in against Gillian in relation to actually, and it makes me laugh here. They say 2006 incident. It was 2005. Why can't they get the facts straight for start? And it did allow bad character in against Gillian.
Okay, fine. You mentioned it now.
They allowed it in.
Yeah. But she wasn't even in the business at that time.
Correct, Brad. Correct.
Yeah. Okay. I wasn't going to mention it, but you've done it now. So
It wasn't even the same type of accident.
Correct, Phil.
Yeah.
And she couldn't
the thing
possibly
is-
have known of the dangers of feeding tankers because it wasn't the same type of accident. How was she supposed to know that?
Yeah.
She
This
didn't know
is
one
the-
end of the tanker from another.
in criminal law, right? The basic pretense is, right? Let's just say you're a shoplifter today, Phil, yeah, and you're a burglar tomorrow, yeah, and in court, in the way the UK justice system works, is that you cannot be known as a shoplifter and burglar, right? If for example you got accused of the shoplifting offence, and you were becoming a burglar, and get caught, and they can't use the shoplifting offence against you during the trial. It can be mentioned.
They're called antecedents.
Is it called antecedents? Is it?
Yeah.
And it can't be mentioned and referenced. But if she wasn't even, if you know, like Ian says, bad character. I didn't want to mention that, but the is that
she never had bad character. Brad, did she?
Yeah, no, of course not. Of course not. She didn't even work there. It's ridiculous.
No. Yeah.
It's like you can just say, you know, Brad was there as well at the same time.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's just, it has the same sort of like fear. But basically, and also you could be a burglar multiple times over, but you can't use that evidence that you were a multiple time burglar, and then go into court and say, look, he's done it like 5 times before. It's obvious he's a burglar. Here's the evidence. He's been convicted 5 times before. That's not how the law works. The law works on the basis of the offence that they're trying
You've been tried for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they can bring in that evidence
At the end,
after
the verdict.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly, Phil. Yeah, that's what. That's
But
what.
off grill Gillian on air 3 days on the stand regarding the 2005 death. Oh, she was grilled. She broke down.
Yeah, I've read it already, but
They had to prove that she knew of the dangers of feeding tankers. That she did nothing about it from 2005 to 2016.
okay.
And the reason she did nothing about it was to enhance the finances of the business. That's what they had to prove. And somehow this jury swallowed it.
Yeah, there's kind of a pun in that, but I don't want to make a joke of it. The all right, go on. Questions on behalf of JL.
This was Gillian's Dimagoros.
Yeah,
We've only got 8 minutes.
They did say you never understood that the gas coming up from the mix was dangerous. No.
Yeah.
Okay, questions on behalf of Gillian Leivers. Firstly, back into history of family working for Ian Leivers. Originally at Rainworth, he worked in Botsford, moved whole family from where you lived in Bagthorpe.
Yes.
Moved the whole family closer.
Me, Dad, and Mum.
Oh, what about Nicky? And Nicky? You're getting that out. He's forgot his sister.
Yeah, he's forgotten about her.
Forgot about her.
Jack worked for the company.
Yes.
Nicola, sister, worked for the company.
Yes.
You left site around 4:10, going home to deal with Christmas.
Yes.
Before you left, were you aware it was intended to clean out a lorry brought back by Richard Draycott?
Okay, yeah, this is me. Yeah, Stuart Brown rang down to me. I said I was going. He said he would sort it out.
Brad, can I just, sorry guys, can I just, don't remember it, can I just stop at this point? Remember the Richard Draycott Steve Hunt interview where they said that phones didn't work down in the mixing shed?
Phone signal, yeah.
Yeah, no phones. But here we're confirming that all communications were made by mobile phones.
But you're saying that you actually disagree with them. You're saying the phones did work.
Of course they did. We've gone through it earlier. You know, we're talking all the time about, you know, they really put to the.
When I was
really,
back there, obviously we're talking about different decades.
Sure. Sure.
I had phone signal there all the time.
Sure. That's, well, remember, Brad, as we've gone through this, they talked about it was rare. Even Dave Rooney had to come up to the office. So how did they get instructions? Everything was done by mobile phones.
Yeah. Okay, carry on. We've only got less than, we've got 5 minutes left.
All right. So did you discuss with anyone else?
Can't remember if I did.
It would be the sort of thing which your dad might need to know, as to do with the mixing shed.
No, not really. How is it to do with the mixing shed?
Well, they backed it in the mixing shed. They blocked it off.
That's what he's saying. What if it was taken there, you and your father, manager?
It was to do with the lorry, not mixing shed. Yeah.
Being facetious again, isn't it?
Yeah. Carry on.
Can't remember who I spoke to. This is you.
Oh, sorry. Can't remember who I spoke to. I saw Dad near the office as I would. Huh? How's that possible?
Well, he's lying there, isn't he? Because his dad, that's confirmed by the CCTV. Although
no lorry.
It was down there at the mixing shed.
What he said was his dad was offloading the lorry.
Yeah, he's trying to put him up there, you see, to take him away from the scene.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's another
What lorry was he offloading? What was he offloading?
Well, the lorry didn't exist, but also their narrative, they've not even got right.
No, well, he's putting his dad unloading this fictitious lorry, isn't it, to take him away from the scene? So Mike Maruniak is
co-conspirators, really.
They'll go to jail for this.
Jeez.
He walked. Go on, sorry.
But but basically, how could you get a lorry near the office anyway?
Well, he's trying to say it was down the side there, isn't he? But then we've got
alongside the weighbridge.
Yeah, but we've got CCTV covering that. There was no lorry parked there. There's no lorry on site. It's confirmed by the CCTV, as you guys know.
The back of the pine shed, is it?
Hey, that's the point. Back of the pine shed. The pine shed's got a lot to do with this.
Okay, go on. It's me still. But you didn't see your dad. Oh no, that's you.
I walked by. Sorry, guys, I'm reading this last bit out. I walked by my dad offloading round the back of, and it's cut out. Pine shed?
Could be.
Could be. It was round there.
We've only got a couple more minutes left now. I'm so annoyed that was not mentioned.
You didn't see your dad around the time of the mixing shed?
No.
CCTV camera 8, 5 o'clock. We think the Manitou driven by you. Next to is certainly Richard Draycott.
Can I just say, they didn't even establish that wasn't the Manitou. You know, the colour CCTV footage when they all stood there. That was the brand new JCB that arrived that day. It's yellow. Manitou or red.
JCB yellow. It's an actual type of yellow JCB.
As you well know, Phil, you're the expert with JCBs.
My response is I can't remember that.
Somebody in the money to know Richard Draycott by Blue Contained.
Blue Contained, what does that mean? Is he trying to
I don't
say
know.
overalls and they've changed it?
Another person, high-vis striped jacket. Do you know who that is?
Yard manager's jacket on. His dad.
Yeah.
He's saying no.
JA explaining the layout on camera, showing piggery where you hung out.
That's his office. He's calling it a piggery. His office, they hang out in a piggery. Hang out. They come to work, but Jim Agros, this is actually a KC, is saying that they hang out in work.
Yeah.
4 people stood there. Do you agree?
No, let's go back. Okay, yeah. Okay, fine. Listen, we need to finish up for the sake of this week. Do you know one thing I will say, Ryan? One thing that's annoyed me is that we've not managed to include this witness statement because I'm desperate to get on to Stuart Brown.
But he's last, Brad, as you said, you want it in order. Please slow down. Stuart Brown's the last man in the show. There's a lot more to come. A lot more.
Okay. Let's do the final song.
Let's go for Hall of Fame then, the script.
That's a good song, actually, yeah. All right, let's play that now.
Yeah, you can be the greatest, you can be the best, you can be the King Kong banging on your chest.
You can beat the world, you can beat the war, you can talk to God, go banging on his door.
You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock, you can move a mountain, you can break rocks.
You can be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you go find yourself
Standing in the Hall of Fame,
yeah.
and the world's gonna know your name,
Yeah.
'cause you burn with the brightest flame,
Yeah.
and the world's gonna know your name,
Yeah.
and you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame.
You can
go the distance, you can run the mile, you can walk straight through hell with a smile.
You could be the hero, you can get the gold, breaking all the records they thought never could be broke.
Yeah, do it for your people, do it for your pride. Are you ever gonna know if you never even try?
Do it for your country, do it for your name, 'cause there's gonna be a day when you're
Standing in the Hall of Fame, and the world's gonna know your name, 'cause you burn with the brightest flame, and the world's gonna know your name, and you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame.
Be a champion, be a champion, be a champion, be a champion.
Walls of the Hall of Fame.
Be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers. Yeah. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions, be truth seekers. Be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers. Yeah. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions.
Standing